Hey guys, welcome to my garage studio at the moment. For those that will be joining me, this is for the GCCA's live demo, printmaking for kids. And what we will be doing is using items from around the household to learn and practice and try and experiment all sorts of printmaking techniques. So this is the space. Let me show you real quick. There we go. So I'll go over everything we have and we're gonna do. This is our shop dog Molly. She seems to be passed out. But yeah, you don't need much space. I'm just using a little work top from the garage. So I'm gonna put you on the tripod and then we can jump right in. All right, now we got you set up. Going to join here on the computer, so then if y'all have any questions, I can answer them. All right. Perfect. Thanks, guys. So like I said, this is going to be a printmaking demo, and I will show y'all what I mean by that. So this is a little car I made out of this foam board that I found around the house. So that's what we're going to dive into, and I'm just going to walk y'all through all the steps. So I know you can pause this at any point, and we will have this posted on the GCCA channel and maybe their YouTube channel. I don't remember if they have that or not, but either way, you should be able to come back to it and pause it and be able to try all the different things you want, and so you won't miss a thing. A few resources if you are just beginning with printmaking. I want to show y'all a book. It's called Simple Printmaking by Gwen Dime. Could be saying that wrong, but if we can put it in the comments section, I'll make sure to do it. But it's a great book. Just breaks down a lot of different techniques and makes it really simple for those to just dive in using all sorts of techniques. So like I said, this is printmaking. Those who are joining me, we are going to find items from around the house to print with in hopes that you can just experiment and see where it takes you. So first off, some of the things you need. Paper. So I've got a slew of paper, various types. This is just drawing paper from a sketchbook, so you can use that. This is some watercolor paper. If you have that, that's actually probably the best to use for what we're going to be doing today. But that's okay. The drawing paper works exceptionally well. This is some just thinner rice paper that I routinely use to do my printmaking with. So it's a great paper, nice and thin. And then your handy dandy computer paper. If worst comes to worst, that's all you got, then we make it work. Okay, the other thing, what you need for printing. Right now, I've got this foam sheet. You can get it at Michael's, dollar store. If you're in Greenville, Wilson's 5 and Dime has it for like 59 cents a sheet. So really cheap, and you can cut it out to however small or big you want. Or if you don't have that and you don't want to leave your house, you can use good old-fashioned styrofoam plates. Did one earlier, and we'll practice and show you all that again. But styrofoam plates work really well. Really anything styrofoam. I did try matte board or foam board, but because of the paper coating, it just didn't transfer well. So this is your project. You get to experiment how you want. So you just try all sorts of items and objects. Now, if you don't have styrofoam or foam sheets, You can honestly use a potato, an apple, cardboard. The cardboard can be the same thing. You kind of have to varnish it to make sure the ink doesn't stick on there, but there's a lot of different options. So it's endless. So experiment and try new things. So we will go through all this, but I'm just kind of showing y'all the overall ideas at the moment. The other thing we need are markers or an ink pad. These are just Crayola, they're called pipsqueaks because they're so small, but they're washable colors, washable markers. So those are exactly what you want. So you want something washable. So you could use a stamp pad if you had that, markers. Those are probably the main things you would want to use. You could use acrylic paints if you watered them down a little bit. And you know what? If it works, it works. And if not, you just keep trying new things. You will also need a pencil. I like these pencils because you can retract the lead as you need it. But either that or a mechanical pencil, or just your standard old number 2 pencil. So any of these will work. And then a spray bottle. You can get these at dollar stores as well, or Lowe's or Home Depot, or you can convert an old, something with laundry, like if you have a small bottle, I don't know. You can get really creative, but you need something that'll really spray some water. So, yeah, I think that's it. So we're going to dive in. Once again, you can pause this. You can jump back in. This is going to be posted long term on GCCA's website. And once again, I'm Douglas Piper if you're just joining. And I've got a printmaking studio space downtown Greenville at the Art Crossing. Right now we're open by appointment only, but please reach out if you have any questions or you want to stop by and see the shop. We love to have people come by. Alright, so we're going to jump right in. I'm going to do it alongside y'all. So what we're actually making is this old car. My wife and I went on a trip, and I found this car on the side of the road, and so I took a photo. And what I ended up doing was literally just printed it out, and we're going to work straight off of this. So even if you don't want to draw something, you want to sketch something you've already done, you just want to freehand, we've got a lot of different options for you. But to show you, if you wanted to take an image, I'm going to show you that process. So, find your image, print it out. First thing we're going to do is use our pencil and draw on the back side. So we're just going to draw a lot of marks on the back. And so what this is going to do is then when we trace it onto our foam, it's going to transfer. It'll transfer this lead. So you just want to go the same size the image is, so you can kind of look back and see where it starts and where it ends. So roughly there. And you want to go both directions, at least. So the more marks you have, the better it's going to show up. Need a little more ink, or a little more lead, sorry. Let's see this back side, there we go. So it goes out just a tiny bit further. Okay, so once you've got the rough area, now if you have a big sheet of foam or a big styrofoam plate, and you want to do the entire image, then you just go ahead and do the entire image just like we did this. Since I'm only using the car, we are going to, I just need to mark off this space. So I've got that taken care of. Now I just need to find my foam board, which I put, there it is. So I'm going to lay that straight. I'm going to put this on as straight as possible. You can kind of feel the edges a little bit. If you want to, you can always cut this down and tape it so it doesn't move. and you're not going to mess up, I'm okay to do it just like this. Just look at it and make sure that the foam is going to cover the entire area that you want. So then you're going to take your pencil. You can take a lead pencil. You could jump in and use your number 2 pencil. Or honestly, at this point, you can do a pen. So just to show y'all the entire spectrum of possibilities, I'm going to use a pen, but just know all of it works. And what we're going to do is we're going to outline what you want to show. So I'm going to outline the car, and I'm going to trace some of the highlights. So showing the door, showing the window, yeah, whatever you're wanting to transfer onto your foam block is what you want to trace. So we will get started. Now, your paper may be a little thin, and as you trace, your pencil, your pen may poke through. That's okay. Just keep going. And the big thing is you want to take your time. You don't want to mess up, because as you're pressing, you're actually pressing into the foam, and it's going to remember that mark you made. So we want to be as slow as possible as we trace. I just went over. Just nice and easy. And just remember, you don't have to go over every single line. You know, this is going to be your artwork, so you want to use what you see and what's important to you. So for me, with this car, some people may not put these lines right through here. But those are defining lines for me. I like them. I think they help give the car shape. So I'm going to draw them. I told y'all I was going to do this with y'all, so bear with me as I go through this process. And once again, I've got my computer, so if you have any questions, feel free to shoot a question in the comment. I'll try and address it as best I can. If you just joined us, we are doing a printmaking demo for kids or adults. I mean, let's be honest. We all need to be creative. We all need to try new things, especially during this time period. I think it's incredibly important for us to be creative and to allow some of our emotions to be captured in artwork. I think that can be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, I'm poking all sorts of holes through here, but that is okay. Keep drawing and tracing. Now if you wanted to use your own image in your head, you would just draw straight on the foam. You wouldn't even worry about doing what I'm doing. You would just draw directly onto the styrofoam or onto the plate. Okay, let's see. I feel like I got most of the spots. So one good thing is if you did tape it, you could always flip it up and see how it looks. Alright, looks pretty good for me. Let's see if I can show y'all without moving it. So you can see some of the lines transfer from what we drew and now on the foam. So I'm going to lift the paper off, and we've got our car. So for me to be able to see it easier, because it's still a little ghostly, I'm going to go back over it a second time. And this time I'm going to lightly do it. So I'm going to use a different pencil. I'm going to lightly do it so I can see it. So if you were doing this on foam, or if you're doing this on a potato or an apple, there's just a lot of really good options out there that you can do some really neat prints with. I've always liked these old cars. They're really neat. And where we were traveling, they were everywhere. Vintage ones, brand new ones. Just made it really neat. So I'm doing the final go over. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me. So this is where having a retractable pencil would come in handy. I would retract, so mechanical pencil. If you don't have that, you can keep using your number 2 pencil. And what we're wanting to do is go back over the drawing for a third time, but really press in. This is also when you get creative with what you have around the house. I found an old nail punch in my garage, actually, and I thought this would do a little bit better than the pencil. But either one will work well. You just kind of find what you have in the house. So for the third time, we're going to go over those lines again, but without the lead, and we're going to press in. And so as you press, you can kind of rub your finger on it and see that that line's a good bit deeper. If you are working on styrofoam, you don't want to punch a hole through it. So you want to do enough to where you can feel that indentation over your finger, because ultimately we don't want ink to go in there. And so if your finger can go over it and you feel that void, then you're in a good spot. Now you may get through all of this and we may ink it up and it's not going to be visible and you're not going to see the lines. Well, we'll just go back through and make the lines a little deeper and then try again. Some of the joy of experimenting. So I'm going to go over this car one more time with a little deeper grooves. So I want to see what y'all end up doing. I'm always curious what people do. I've seen a lot of people do flowers. And that's the great thing. You can do these for Christmas cards, birthday cards, just for, Father's Day's coming up, so you could have a lot of fun with this if you wanted to for your father. There are a lot of good reasons to try something like this out. One of my first prints, and what got me into printmaking, was doing a Christmas card. So you never know where that will lead you. And the other thing is, when you are tracing and when you're pressing in, you can always try to add some texture too. That's the great thing with printmaking, is that it emulates exactly what you put onto the surface. So whether it's a wood block, whether it's a copper plate, whether it's linoleum, no matter what you are carving into, there's always room for you to leave your own marks in it. So say for instance I didn't want just this car by itself, a flat car. I could add some lines. So So this is going off the cusp a little bit. On the car to add just a little more to it. So we'll try this, see how that looks. And you know your windows are never just solid black. There's always some sort of glare. So maybe in the window I'll add some little glare marks. It's up to you. It's your piece. So whether it's a car, whether it's flowers, whether who knows, just experiment, try it out. In fact, I might add some lines down here to showcase the road or to showcase the curb. Alright, so I don't know if you can see really well. I'm going to try and bring this in a little closer for you just to get an idea of the marks that I made and how deep they are. And also know when you use a pencil, the lead's going to get in these grooves, and when you print, it's going to show that. Here was my practice not too long ago, so you can see all the lines, and you can see where some were deep and then others weren't as much. So you just learn and figure out. Yeah, let's bring that a little closer just so y'all can see and make sure that as you're working on it, you can do the same thing. So I'll do a quick little sketch on a styrofoam plate. We'll do some mountains. I always enjoy mountains. And then we can show you what that looks like. So I like drawing really gnarly mountains, ones that you'd be terrified to climb. But they make some really pretty marks. Let's see. So I got smaller plates, so they're not going to be quite as much detail, but I'm going to add a big sun in the middle. So I know you won't be able to see that because it didn't take my pencil, but hopefully as we look at this a little clearer, we can look at the marks that I made. So this was just with my pencil. I can put my finger over it, I can see all the marks. Hopefully y'all can. There's a slight delay in what I'm seeing versus what you're seeing. So hopefully that's good. Oh, I do like the Vespa idea. That would be really fun. Okay, so we've got our two blocks. We've got our foam sheet, styrofoam plate, just as good, both of them. And let's move a few things out of the way. So now's the really fun part. All of it's been fun, let's be honest. But now's the part where you get to bring color and life to your block. And when you roll the ink, when you color it in, it just takes on a whole new life. So, like I said, you can use washable markers. With markers, you can be very detailed and go in and be specific. If you don't have that, if you just have a stamp pad, that's even easier, because what you can do is, let's envision that this is a stamp pad, because you can press all over it till it's solid, till it's a solid area. And then hopefully you'll see all the lines not taking the ink. So I'll show you all that in a minute. But that's what you'll do if you're stamping. If you have the markers, then you'll join me in doing the markers. So this car happened to be a nice bright blue. So we are going to make that happen. So we're just going to color it in. I like to turn it on its side just to cover more space. And then so you can see some of the colors. So I'm going to save the windows and make them black. try and stay within the lines, but if you go above, it's your piece. You get to do what you want. As Bob Ross says, happy mistakes. So you can turn that into something else. So I'm going to be a little more detailed around the windows. If you get them in the cracks that you had already drawn, it's okay. It is no big deal. We will be able to try a bunch of different options. Okay, so that's all my blue. So now I'm going to use the black and work on the wheels and the windows. So I hope y'all are enjoying this. This is something that doesn't take up a lot of space, it doesn't get very messy, and you can really utilize what you have at home. One window, two window, windshield. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. So these are the hubcaps. So if there was a part that you didn't press in, but as you're coloring it, you're like, oh, that would look good. Well, just try it. You know, if I wanted to add something to the wheels like this to make it feel like it's maybe moving, or yeah, if you wanted to add some lines like that, go for it. Just try it out. Okay. So I did have this line on the road, so I'm going to add that in. And if you're a little concerned that it's drying on you, do not worry. That's what the spray bottle's for. And let's see. We want to make this a little happy, so let's put in a sun. Whew, it's bright yellow. So we're going off the cusp now. This is a mix between printmaking and coloring. So we got the sun, and if you wanted to, you could add some really fun rays. Alright. And if you want to make it bigger, make it bigger. This is your piece. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Now comes the part where I'm sure y'all might be a little nervous. Oh, let me draw this one so y'all can see the difference between the foam sheet and the styrofoam plate. So, same concept. I'm coloring in those lines. So we've got some, man, I'm all about some blue and yellow today. These mountains are blue though, so you've got to. So on the styrofoam, it may kind of water up and not fully cover, but that's alright. It's just going to add some dimension and some texture to your print that nobody else will have. So I did that. Let's put a little orange on the mountain. Let's say it's a sunset going down. Orange. These are tiny plates. Let's add a little more yellow right above it. Also, if you messed up and you got a color in a spot that you didn't want, just wipe it off. Just get a little water. That's what's great. This is washable. You are not committed either way. Alright. So I'll stand up for this just to get a little more spacing to show y'all. So we will do the foam sheet first, but this is easy. So what I want you to do is get your paper ready. So what I'm going to use is my drawing paper right here. This is just basic from Michael's drawing paper that I ripped out and actually cut in half. So we're going to use this. And so what I want you to do is take your spray bottle, put it on a fine mist setting. So if you don't have necessarily all the settings and you just have this one twist knob, you want to do it as fine as you can before it tightens. So you'll tighten it all the way to where you can't spray it, and then loosen it a little. And so once you're able to get a nice fine mist, that's when you want that setting. And what we're going to do is actually spray our block. So mine's this size. Don't know what you're working with. But you just want to have a nice even coat of water on this. So I'm going to move my paper. I'm going to do it right here so you can see it. Let's move some of these things out of the way. So for me, I'm going to spray it in this direction and press it just like that. So 1, 2, 3. All right. So we've sprayed it. It looks mostly even. If you wanted to do it another time, you could. The more you spray, the more watered down it's going to be. You never know what it'll be. Never know what it'll turn out. So we'll take our paper, we'll get it lined up as straight as possible, and then we're going to lay it down and then press it. So you want to press it, you want to hold down one with your hand while pressing it, and then do the same thing with the other. So the big thing is you don't want to press it too hard and then move the paper off of the foam, and then your image looks a little crazy. So you just want to press it. You should start to see the image come through your paper a little bit. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. I'm going to try and pick it up and show you. The ink came through on me. It's going to get on your hands. It's alright. It's all washable. But you can see the image start to come through. So I think I've pressed it enough. We are going to pick it up and see. Alright. So there we go. So it is the mirror image. So this is important to know. If you were doing a Father's Day card and you write Happy Father's Day, well, if you don't mirror the image, it is going to look like gibberish. So what you want to do is make sure you mirror the words so that it'll say Happy Father's Day and it'll be readable. If you're not quite sure how to do that, you just use the same technique we used on the card here. We'll make your own transfer sheet, and you'll be good. Alright, so that's pretty good. That's our first go at it. You can see some of the textures coming through in the card that I added. By overspraying it, some of it just kind of seeped in. And I think that makes for a really fun print. Alright, so we did that one. So now, I'm going to just lay this to the side and we're going to try our styrofoam plate. So for those that have been waiting patiently, this is the best way to do it. So I'm going to use actually computer paper. So we're going to be experimenting a little bit with this because I'm not quite sure how well it'll do. But we want to spray this, so I'm going to move our car out of the way and spray this a couple times. Alright, so the styrofoam plate holds the water a lot more than the foam, so I'm going to leave it at 2, but the next go around we may change it. So I'm going to lay the paper down. It's the same process as the foam sheet. The paper plate's just a little tougher because you can't press quite as hard without cracking it. So just be gentle. Take your time. You can always make another one. That's the great thing with these plates. Alright, so lift it up and look at that. It's a little abstract, but I think we can all tell what I drew. So that's the foam plate. So you can look at the plate and see exactly how much came off. And that's, yeah, that is printmaking. So the really great thing is you can use a potato, you can use an apple if you didn't have either of those, or if you didn't have styrofoam or foam sheet. The really other fun thing is that you can use all sorts of things. So this is just some Velcro. So this is where the really neat part of experimenting comes in. So if I had these mountains and I wanted to add something to it, and I'm like, Velcro's got texture. Let's see what happens. I haven't done this, so we'll see. But I'm going to make this green and make it feel like grass or something. So I'm going to color on it. I literally have no idea if this will show up. But we're just trying, and we're practicing, and we're experimenting. And as our good friend Bob Ross says, happy mistakes. All right. It's my rendition. Okay, I think I did enough. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to spray this as well. And then we're going to press it. So not quite sure what we'll get, but we should get a really neat greeny texture. We did. So you could do this multiple times, and you can make it vertical and make it feel like a tree was there, and really bring that to life. Or if you got done with the print and you wanted to just draw on there next, you could do that too. So here's our little tree here. And we'll make one more right there. So it's up to you on what you want to do with it. It's your print. You get to have fun with this. So keep experimenting, keep trying new things. Please feel free to reach out to me. The most important part with any print, you've got to sign it. So just remember to have a pencil, and we'll use this one for instance. So in the right corner is where you want to sign it. So I do D. Piper. So you can do your full name, you can do your signature, but you want to make sure it's readable. That's important. And then you always put the year you've completed it. So you'll write a 20 above your name. So hopefully y'all can see that. And then we've got to title it. So I'm going to put Out and About. I think that's nice. Out and About. So you'll just do that right dead center in the middle. And then with all prints, you number them. So say this is an edition of 20. I'm only going to print 20. Then I would do number 1/20. So hopefully y'all can see that. Get an idea. So if you do 20 more of these, it'll go, that top number will go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 20, and then finishing up. So that is how you do a print with found objects around the house. Don't throw away your blocks. Always save them. You can always do different things with them. And just have fun and experiment. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Please reach out if y'all have any issues or have any questions. My email address is douglaspiperart@gmail.com. And once again, I have a studio downtown Greenville at the Art Crossing. So right below Hall's Chop House on the waterfront, next to Ocha Tea and Poppy's Tacos. My wife has a studio down there. There's another 10 wonderfully talented artists. So please come by and stop in and say hey. Learn more about art and creating and different ways to just get creative and allow it to be a therapeutic part of your life. Yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed this. And yeah, send me your photos. Show me what you did. Thanks, guys.